I'm here to give a little demonstration, a tour of my Volkswagen Corrado that has an AMX control system and a Megasquirt standalone engine management system. When they work together, it has some pretty neat little display options that I have laid out on a touch panel, and we'll go through it. The car itself is a 1993 Corrado SLC. I've done a little bit to the car itself. Basically, I've replaced the intake manifold with a Schrick intake manifold. Also installed a short ram air. Removed the ABS and put in some manual brakes. Installed a fully aluminum radiator to keep this engine cool, because this engine does run very hot. Rewired it for the Megasquirt because the didn't need quite as many sensors as the stock ECU, and just wanted to clean it up, and I think it's a lot cleaner with the new wiring I've done. But most people are probably watching this video because of a few things I have installed in the car that make it unique. So we'll hop on in and we'll show you what I all got going on. So, as you can see, I have removed my heater controls and stereo, and I've installed a touch panel. This is an AMX CV7 touch panel that interfaces with an AMX NI 700 frame, control frame, basically the brains here. And this box basically runs Netlink's code. Has a couple serial ports, a couple digital IOs, and some other features on it. The serial ports are used one for the Megasquirt ECU, one for a serial controller, or I should say servo controller, that operates my heater matrix. I've also got a REL8 that has relays that control a little bit higher voltage devices, such as the blower, fan, and some other devices we'll see basically power on and off for the system. There's also a Vol 3 underneath the driver's seat that controls the volume. Now, one thing a lot of people are interested in is this Raspberry Pi. And what this is basically a little computer that runs Debian Linux. And it's pretty slick. I'm running an MPD, which is basically like a music jukebox. And that's how I'm getting audio through my system since I've taken out the stereo. And I've written a module in AMX that operates just like a jukebox, and we'll show you that in a minute. The connectors it has is a composite connector for video, an 1/8 inch for audio, some USBs, a Ethernet connector, RJ45, and basically HDMI. It's powered by a phone charger and works pretty darn slick. The control for this unit is over the Ethernet connection as well, and that goes down to a switch that I have that's plugged into the frame. So let's go through some of the controls we can see here. First off, we have our heater controls. So if we press that, we'll get to our heater page. And from here, we have our defrost, and you can hear the servos take off as I press these buttons. Press vents, they all move. They've all been working pretty good. I've had them installed for about 9 months now. There's also fan speed over here, so if we press this, we can increase and lower our fan speed. So we hit that, we hit vents, and we'll feel the air actually come out of there. So that's all working pretty good. We also have a hot to cold right here, so we can turn it cooler or make it warmer. An inside air, outside air little servo to bring in that cool air, or to recycled air that's in here, make it a little warmer. The next button across the top is the gauges, and this is a little button that shows basically the Megasquirt controls, or I shouldn't say controls, what the sensors are actually reading out on the Megasquirt ECU. And it's for diagnostic purposes, kind of neat just being able to watch what's all happening in my car, so I have a good idea to diagnose what may be going wrong. We'll get back to that in a few minutes. There's also the stereo button up here. And this is kind of the neat module that I've just put in place. This is for the Raspberry Pi. And basically, it's like a jukebox. We have a playlist right now that's not populated. We have one song playing up here, and this is what it currently reads out for the song. And then this is our jukebox playlist. So let's populate it with something. So I have a little magnifying glass that brings up our jukebox. And from here, we'll select an artist over here, an album, and a song. So we'll select Ween, White Pepper, and we're going to play the whole album. Now there's a play album button right here. It's probably not very legible with this camera, but that's what it is. And if we press that, it's going to tell that Raspberry Pi to play White Pepper. There's also an add album. What that does is it'll add it to the current playlist, because when we hit play album, it cleared the playlist and just put White Pepper on there. So if we add the album, it'll add White Pepper again. We can also add the artist, play the artist. So if we added the artist, it would add every album from that current artist. If we hit play, it'd clear it, then add the entire artist. You can also add individually songs or play individual songs. We can also scroll up and down through everything. There's also a few other buttons to clear the playlist, remove the last song, and then refresh the database if you added a song for some reason. So that's basically the database. This is all the music in there. It's 32 gigabyte sticks, so we can put quite a bit in there. We're going to return back for the time being to the stereo. So now you can see that Ween White Pepper has now populated the playlist here. And so right up here it says number 1 is playing Ween White Pepper, exactly where I'm at, and then the length of the song. If we go down, we can select another song. So say we want to listen to Even If You Don't. We can go down and select that, hit play. It's going to play that immediately, brings it up to the front of the playlist. We can also remove them. So say we want to remove the globe, we can just select that, hit delete, it'll get rid of it. You can also fast forward to the next track by pressing the forward button. You can rewind back to the last track by hitting the back button. You can pause it and then replay it. Oops. If you hit pause twice, it'll play it again. I don't know if you can hear it, but we'll turn it up a little bit. But pause it, play it, stop it. Stop it will start the song over. Play it again. We can also clear the playlist if we hit the clear button. We won't do that, but that's basically what it does. So that's basically it for the music side of things. It works pretty slick for the music. So we're going to stop it for the time being. There's also, I added a couple other buttons to show you a few other things the Raspberry Pi can do. If we go into it, we can actually VNC in with this touch panel and do some controls. Unfortunately, the controls on this are a little small, so it's hard to actually press what you want it to do. So I might have to hook a keyboard and mouse up to maybe a wireless one, or make it bigger, one of the two. We'll see what we can do, but you get the idea that I can actually manipulate it with the touch panel. So we'll pop on back. One nice thing is with that stuff I might be able to set up like some emulation with some games and watch some movies with the Raspberry Pi as well, since it is a pretty powerful little computer. So let's hop back to the gauges so I can show you what's going on with that. So let's start the car up. So we'll see the gauges here populate in a minute. Once it starts up, it takes a few seconds for it to kind of get back in the swing of things here. There it goes. Whoops. Pressing buttons too quickly for it. Okay. So from here, we have our RPMs. I don't really need them since they are on the actual dash as well, but it is there to give a digital readout. We also have our mass air pressure gauge that reads how much boost we're having in the manifold, and also a fuel to air mixture gauge as well. Right now it's running a little rich because it's pretty cold outside. It's February, so I have it tuned for a summer tune. We also have a coolant temperature, so you can see the exact coolant temperature, and we also have an air intake temperature gauge to see that. The last one is this little bar down there that's got a throttle position sensor, so it shows us what the throttle position is as well. So that's most of it for the Megasquirted. I might add a few more gauges. I mean, you could put quite a bit of stuff that it all reads out on there. I just put the things that I monitor right now. I might add some more in the future here. The other thing I didn't show really is the actual volume control up here. So basically, if we turn this up, it'll probably get pretty loud here pretty quick. That's our volume. volume up, volume down, and also a mute. So that's basically the touch panel controls. So you got a good idea of what's all happening.